Today we will have a look at geometry. In particular, we're looking at geometry of straight lines. Just a quick reminder of the theorems or the properties that you covered in grade 8. Complementary angles are any two angles that add up to 90. Supplementary angles, again, are any two angles which will add up to 180 degrees. Then we have what we call the adjacent angles. I need us to look at adjacent angles on a straight line. The word adjacent means next to. And if you look at this diagram here, angle B1 and angle B2 are next to each other. We call them adjacent angles. But these two added together will not give us 180 degrees. So it doesn't really mean if angles are adjacent, then they should add up to 180. It is only angles that are adjacent on a straight line, which will give us 180. And so this is the picture we are talking about here. In this diagram, angle B1 plus angle B2 should give us 180 degrees. In this diagram, angle O1 is vertically opposite to angle O2. Therefore, these angles are equal. In this diagram, our point there is point O, and there are 5 angles that are formed around that point. And these are angle O1 and angle O2 and angle O3, O4 and O5. So all these are formed around a point, and the property is that when we add this together, we will get an answer of 360 degrees. Corresponding means the angles are sitting in similar positions. Therefore, we call angle F1 and angle G1 corresponding angles. The most important thing is to remember that corresponding angles are equal. In this diagram, there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. The first one we've talked about is angle F1. So angle F1 and angle G1 are equal to each other. And what is the reason? If you need to give a reason, you would then say, because these are corresponding angles, you can write it in short like that. But as soon as you use corresponding angles, you must then state the lines that are parallel. In this diagram, it's line AB, which is parallel to line CD. That angle F2 and this angle G2 are also corresponding because do you see that the two angles are sitting below the parallels to the right of the transversal. So we say angle F2 is equal to angle G2, and our reason is these are corresponding angles, and then we state the parallel sides. AB is parallel to CD. If you look at F4 and you look at G4, you will notice the two angles are sitting above the parallels to the left of the transversal. So that's a similar position. Therefore, angle F4 is equal to angle G4. That's our statement. Our reason is because these are corresponding angles, then we state the parallel lines. AB is parallel to CD. Finally, that angle there, F3, and this angle there, G3, those two are sitting below the line, below the parallel lines to the left of the transversal line. So they are also corresponding. Therefore, angle F3 is equal to angle G3. Reason, because these are corresponding angles. Then state the parallel lines. That will be AB parallel to CD. You will remember from grade 8, we used the term FUN. Corresponding angles will be associated with the letter F, because this letter F gives you these two sides there as parallel, and then that angle there and this angle here will give you your corresponding angles. Another type of angles that we deal with in this diagram are the alternate angles. Alternate angles between parallel lines. These are only alternate angles that are formed between parallel lines. They will be equal. There's only two pairs of alternate angles in this diagram, F3 and G1. Right, if you state that F3 is equal to G1, you need to tell us why they're equal. This is because these here are alternate angles. So these are alternate angles, and once again, as soon as you say alternate angles, you need to give us the parallel lines. The parallel lines are AB and CD. The other one will be F2 and G4. So angle F2 is equal to angle G4. And what is the reason? Once again, those are alternate angles. And which lines they are parallel? AB is parallel to CD. How do you tell, or how do you recognize alternate angles? The angle F3 is formed between this line and that line. These are the two lines that form the angle F3. Then the angle G1 is formed between that line FG and this other line GD. And you will notice that you are kind of describing the letter N if you want the letter Z. So in FUN, the letter N, which can be written as the letter Z, will define our alternate angles. So this is the letter N or the letter Z, whatever you prefer. But two of those lines should be parallel. So these lines here should be parallel. And then the angles formed between those lines will be called alternate angles. So the letter N will help you recognize alternate angles. In this diagram, there are two pairs of co-interior angles. If you go back to FUN, remember we've discussed F, that is for corresponding angles, and N is for alternating angles. U is for co-interior angles. There should be two lines that are parallel. Clearly, it has to be that line there and that line there. And then co-interior means together inside. So these are two angles that are inside, which is why one of them will be this one here, and the other one will be that one there. So those two angles are called co-interior angles, and when you add them up together, they will give you a total or a sum of 180 degrees. In this diagram, therefore, you will notice the angle F3 and angle G4, they are not equal, but if you add them together, they should give you 180. This is because, as you can see, there is that letter U there, which is facing the other way. Angle F3 plus angle G4 must give us 180 degrees. Then we give a reason for that. This is because these are co-interior interior angles. And if you say co-interior angles, then you need to state the parallel lines. AB is parallel to CD. Also, from the same diagram, this side, that angle there, F2, and this angle here, G1, will also add up to 180 degrees because these are co-interior angles. So what we can write there is angle F2 plus angle G1 is equal to 180 degrees. That is our statement. The reason is because these are co-interior angles with line AB parallel to line CD. Let's look at how we can apply some of those properties. In this case, we are looking for X. So we want to find that angle X there. You need to study your diagram carefully. This symbol here, remember, means that angle there is 90 degrees. Then these two angles that remain there must also add up to 90 degrees. Therefore, these two angles are complementary. Our angle X plus that other angle 44 must give us 90 degrees. And how do I know that? I know because these are complementary angles. So X will be 90 minus 44 degrees, which will give us 46 degrees. Let's find X and Y. First of all, we need to have our statement and our reason. Let's start with X. Do you notice that X and 40 degrees are vertically opposite? If you highlight that line there and you highlight this line, they just focus on the red lines. Now, this angle and that angle are vertically opposite to each other. And then you will remember that vertically opposite angles are equal. So all you need to say is X is equal to 40 degrees. Then your reason is because these are vertically opposite angles. We now know that X is equal to 40, so we can put 40 there. We can even put 40 there. Now we need to find Y. Again, if you look at that diagram there, the Y that you want is sitting on this line. That's a straight line there. X plus Y plus 40 is equal to 180 degrees. And what is the reason? These are angles on a straight line. If you solve that quickly, you should be able to do that. You will get Y is equal to 100 degrees. What about this one here? Starting with A, do you see that A and 63 are sitting on the line AB? So those are adjacent angles on a straight line, which means they add up to 180. So A plus 63 degrees must give us 180 degrees. Reason, these are adjacent angles on a line. Let's go to B now. These two lines are parallel, and B and 94 are co-interior, so they should add up to 180. B plus 94 should give us 180 degrees. So B is equal to 86 degrees.